Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live. We do have breaking news for you this morning. We'll get to that in just a minute here. But first, a reminder, you can join us every morning right here on Facebook. We go live about 8 o'clock. Otherwise, you can find us throughout the day on your Facebook feed. You can also find us on our Inform YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast platform. Just go to inform.com/subscribe to take advantage of that deal.
All right, we broke this on First News this morning. Feels good to have some good news in this, saga of the local church group kind of caught over in Israel. Several members of that local church group that escaped Israel are back home this morning. Actually, I was able to talk to Father Phil Ackerman right around 4:30 before First News went on. Kind of caught him just as he was coming into West Fargo, just getting to Holy Cross Catholic Church. Talked to us a little bit about how good it feels to be home. There was, relief. He says he's so grateful for all of the support, all of the prayers. Also, he talked about, the media getting it all up, but the local lawmakers, the governor really making it happen. We know this is just the first group. We talked about like 84, 85 in this group.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. And they're going to start coming in smaller groups now throughout the next couple of days. So Father Ackerman told us, right now his focus is on the rest of the group coming back. He's confirmed they do all have flights booked to come back. So that part is a little bit of relief.
It's just over the next few days, they'll be coming in kind of in those groups, like you said. He said like at least a dozen, a little more than a dozen got back today. It was a long journey for them. So they had to, of course, backtrack and go from Israel into Jordan, wait there. They flew out of Jordan yesterday. It was a 12-and-a-half-hour flight or so back to Chicago. And then from Chicago, they had to get on planes to go to Rochester and Minneapolis based on, destinations kind of thing. And then they had to drive all the way from there back home to the Fargo area. So it's been just a crazy long journey for them. Of course, we're grateful to know that they're back safely. Still thinking of all the other folks, though, waiting to get back here into the States.
And we appreciate him visiting with us. We've talked a lot about how tired he is, and he was still kind of on the adrenaline high of getting back here. We know he's going to probably crash, need a little downtime, but he has committed to talking to WDAY News once again, give us an update. Because, of course, it seems like every couple hours there's really an update on, what's happening in these flights and how people are doing getting back. So we're going to continue tracking this breaking story for you, and we'll have updates as well throughout the day, so stay with WDAY. But good news, a great breaking story to start the process.
It's nice to share good news in a breaking fashion for once here.
Absolutely.
So, of course, we have the local aspect of this story, but the war is raging on across the seas right now. At this hour, it's early afternoon, getting into the mid-afternoon over there in the Israel-Gaza area. It's the 6th day of fighting going on. The number of people dead in that war now reached over 2,300. We've confirmed this morning, this was breaking news from the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, 25 Americans now confirmed dead in this whole thing. Still many people missing, or they've been taken hostage by Hamas. The Defense Department says it's not decided if U.S. troops are actually going to be sent to find these hostages, but an estimated Israeli 300,000 troops remain stationed at the border for a ground invasion of Gaza. So this is far from being concluded, of course.
Absolutely, and a big part of this story as well. More than 250,000 people have already been forced out of their homes in Gaza. That's according to the UN. But really, there's very few places for them to go. The Gaza Strip is just over 25 miles long, 7 miles wide. Home, though, to more than 2 million people. So it's one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Movement in and out of the Strip is closely controlled right now by Israel. We know at least one crossing is blocked, leaving just one possible exit route, one into Egypt. We're hearing a Palestinian official says that crossing came under attack by warplanes earlier this week. A senior Israeli official says talks are underway, though, to allow U.S. citizens and Palestinians to leave Gaza into Egypt. So that's very ongoing.
Yeah, we'll of course continue to follow all of this for you here on WDAY. ABC has of course got just very broad coverage of this whole thing, so stay up to date on what's going on, and we'll do our best to do that as well. All right, more locally here. This morning, we now know that one man has died following a beat truck crash that happened earlier this week. And right now, his family is looking for help to cover his medical bills and funeral costs. Patrick Gendron died early yesterday morning from those injuries related to the crash. He was ran over by a beat truck Monday in Kitson County. That's in the northern portion of the state up by Grand Forks. WDAY is still working to learn if any charges will be brought against that driver. Of course, stick with us for updates on that story.
A story new this morning, a tentative deal between the Fargo Education Association and the Fargo School Board has been made. This came in very late last night. The president of the FEA told WDAY that they reworked several key points of contention between the two groups, including teacher pay, prep time, the elementary teacher work day. The agreement will now go to FEA members later this month for a ratification vote. From there, it goes on to a final board vote. But of course, we're going to continue working today to kind of learn a little bit more as to what was in that agreement.
All right, right now, a local treatment center is warning people suffering from substance abuse and mental illness disorders that there's actually a new scam, and it's linked probably to human trafficking. So listen to this. Share House, a treatment center in Fargo, up in Grand Forks as well, says a group of people are pretending to be workers at local treatment facilities. They're imposters. These so-called workers offer to fly patients out of state for treatment. Share House says this is likely a scam to lure at-risk people into human trafficking, and Share House is now reminding everyone that their communities that they work in are only Grand Forks and Fargo. So if there's anything else said, that's just not the case. They want to provide ground transportation to people if they need it, but it's only coming at request, so it won't be just freely offered to you as it is in the scam.
That's a scary story for sure. Right now, as we start our day, it's unclear if the U.S. House will have a speaker anytime soon, a story we're tracking for you as well. Of course, it's important because Congress can't pass any bills without one. Earlier this week, we told you on WDAY the GOP planned on holding that vote today. Louisiana Congressman and House Majority Leader Steve Scalise did win the most support in a caucus meeting yesterday, but now it's unclear really if any candidate has enough overall support to win.
All right, it had to happen to somebody. Someone has finally won that big jackpot lottery for the Powerball. Of course, they're in California. They're always in California, it seems like. But single winning ticket, matched all the numbers. Last night, they're going to win $1.7 billion in that grand prize. If they take the cash payout, it's $774 million. If they take the payments, they get one-time payment and then like 29 more payments later in life. So congrats to them, I guess. Also, 5 other people won $1 million in 5 different states on their tickets. However, none of them were in our area here in North Dakota and Minnesota.
All right, and we're going to bring Lydia over now to get a check of our weather. Of course, we talked a little bit about how it's getting so cold in the mornings. We had a few frosty mornings this morning. We were kind of stuck under the clouds, most of us, and it actually did not get as cold as some of the other mornings.
Where we had good cloud cover, temps were in the 40s this morning. Right now in Fargo, it's like 50. That's a big difference than the 20s and the 30s that we had the past 2 mornings. Where there were thin spots in the clouds, though, you did fall into the upper 30s. So Crookston, Thief River, Gwinner, even Grand Forks fell into the upper 30s this morning. We're going to notice an increase in cloud cover today. So going mostly cloudy and then breezy. We've had very calm winds this week, so this will be a little bit different for us today. Out of the east-northeast, 15 to 25 sustained, and then gusting 30 to 35. These are your first 2 ingredients to that big rain system that's coming in, and we have been talking about it all week long. So now it's really starting to come to fruition. It is raining down in southern South Dakota right now, close to the I-90 corridor, and this will continue its track up to the north. Today, no rain. Don't worry about the windshield wipers, the umbrella, the rain jacket. Today, it's wind and clouds. Tomorrow is when we'll see the rain push in. I'd say after midnight, and then it's pretty heavy and steady, I-94, Highway 10, and south. So we'll continue to see that rain just kind of sit on top of those spots all day long tomorrow. 1 to 3 inches possible in some of those areas. Right now, our Fargo forecast calls for 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch, which is still a good, healthy rain. And then significantly less as you travel further up to the north. Wraps up late Friday night, gone by Saturday. Maybe a spare sprinkle on Saturday, but most of us will stay dry. Which is good news for tailgating up at UND, at the Alaris Center. Maybe a spare sprinkle, a cloudy sky. Breeze should be settling down, but cold. Temperatures will only be in the low 50s on Saturday afternoon, so most of tailgating will probably be in the 40s. Next week, I have 50s, a couple days close to 60, and a chance of rain right around Wednesday. Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's your forecast.
All right.
Get ready for some rain tomorrow. Some high school football games will be soggy tomorrow in the south. The further north that you are, the less likely you are to see that
Uniforms are going to get muddy.
Yeah, get ready to do laundry, moms.
All right, thank you, Lydia. All right, Hot Mike with Dom Izzo coming up here this morning, 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra. The Twins season is over.
Oh, bummer.
Don will take a look at who will return and who won't for next baseball season. Plus, the University of Jamestown is getting kicked out of its league. How the Jimmies are adjusting to an unprecedented move. Hot Mike. coming up 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra.
And if you are just joining us, our breaking news this morning is that several people from that group of that local church group that was stuck in Israel, they've gotten home this morning, so that's great news. That's the breaking news we had this morning. If you want to learn more about that, I think you can go to inform.com.
Yep.
We've been working on stories to get up there, let you know all the latest details. At least a dozen of those folks have returned back to the Fargo area this morning, so great news there. Go read more about that on inform.com. You can get a subscription to inform.com for just 99 cents a month for your first 3 months right now. So go over there, take advantage of that, inform.com/subscribe, get that deal. Read the story about Father Ackerman, all those other parishioners, the people still overseas who are trying to get home, plus lots more.
Our next newscast is coming up here at 11 o'clock this morning. And of course, we'll have you covered again this afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 for more WDAY News.
Have a good day, folks. Bye-bye.